This is Cam Kelly. Welcome to another Devil Talk, as always, joined by Brent Pope.
Good to see you.
And this time, we are joined by the man they refer to as the Brick.
The Brick.
It is the Brick, isn't it? It's Sam the Brick Smith.
How you doing?
Very
Missed you
well,
last time.
thanks. What's that?
Missed you last time.
I know. This is the second time on Devil Talk, but the first time with me. But it's good to have you in.
Oh, that's true.
Welcome back, yeah. Right, let's have a look very quickly at what's been going on game-wise. Last weekend, not a great weekend all round, right?
No, it wasn't great.
4-2 loss against Sheffield away on Saturday, and a 4-2 loss in the Bay against Belfast, which is a real shame because we were discussing this earlier, Brent, that was one of the most amazing games of hockey I think I've ever seen. The standard of the games at the moment is unbelievable. Last two I've been to in the Bay have just been non-stop.
Yeah, well, we were just chatting even, we were a couple injuries. Mark Smith still in the lineup and Jared Adams unable to play in the game as well. But, Belfast play a pretty exciting brand of hockey, and they've got a few guys, Lloyd and Keefe, who are pretty aggressive players, and they've changed their whole sort of construction of their team this year. And they actually, if I'll be honest, I thought sort of initiated the aggression here on Sunday. We responded to it. There was a good fight between Voth and Keefe. I think they got the crowd involved right away in the first period. But that physicality certainly was very tempting and pretty exciting to watch, I think, for the fans all night.
From being on the ice point of view, what was the most frustrating part of the evening?
Well, I thought the guys played great. I mean, both nights. I thought Saturday we were definitely we had the upper hand. We had loads of chances in Sheffield, and it was just a case of bearing down. And she finished in chances, and I think we would have probably snuck away with the 2 points from there. But I mean, they took their chances, and that's just how it goes. And again on Sunday, I thought it took us a while to get hacked off, I suppose, with the way they were playing in there. And I think once we did that, we were flying, and that we took it to them. And I thought once we got to 3-2, I thought we were gonna pip it back off them. But you take the positives from the negatives, and I think that's one of the best games we played all year, and I think that's the way we need to play in our home ring.
We look at our team from last year. Last year having a lot of guys actually at this stage of the season in the top 10 in scoring. This year not having the same sort of offensive output. What's your thoughts on that, Sammy, as to why maybe we as a team are struggling to score the goals that we want to score?
I think this year we haven't got the luxury of having the lines click as the way they did last year. I mean, the Pels Maxi line was so good last year, and right the way through the team. I mean, we haven't got that. But I mean, that's not to say there's guys with more than enough talent on our team who should be potentially in the top 10 of scoring. I mean, it's still early days. It's 20 games in. Who's to say someone could be up there by the end of the year? But I mean, I don't know why. There's no, you can't really say why, can you? I mean,
last year I would say that Craig Weller was a big impact, I think, in the team, and I know he's involved maybe in mentoring you as a young player coming in as a first year pro.
Yeah, I mean, Craig was obviously an unbelievable help for me. I mean, after training, he'd stay on with me and just do extra things with me, working on my game. And I mean, the biggest thing that he was on the ice anyway. He wasn't, he was staying on. He was on the ice because he wanted to be on the ice after training. He was probably the last guy off every day. I couldn't say enough about the guy. He was fantastic. One of the nicest guys I've ever met off the ice. Couldn't do enough for you, and to be that good at that sport and play at the highest level possible is unbelievable to get the kind of help from him.
What's the biggest difference for Sam Smith from year 1 to year 2 as a professional hockey player?
I think just confidence at the moment. I mean, I'm in a bit of a rut at the moment, playing wise. I need to get my confidence back, but this year I came in and I maybe had too high of expectations for myself, and I was trying to do things that maybe I'm not quite ready to do. Maybe I just got to get back to doing the simple things and just playing the way I know I can play. I mean, I'm not worried. It'll start clicking eventually.
What are those things that you can get back to doing?
Keeping it simple, just trying to shoot the puck. I got a good shot, and I like to use that as often as I can. Just using my body. I think that's the main thing. Using my body to my advantage and creating space for other players, and offensively being a bit more confident with the puck.
It's funny from an outsider's point of view, the outsider being me, to hear you say you're low on confidence when you take to the ice, the crowd go mental for you. They absolutely love you. I would have thought that would have been something that would have lifted your confidence a little bit. I mean, I hear that from the stands, obviously, and you always get a very good response. You're certainly one of the favourites.
Oh, I mean, obviously, I can't thank the fans enough for being on my side, and I do feel that, and I love that. I mean, it's great. But I mean, sometimes as a player, sometimes just holding your stick a little bit tight, and
right.
I mean, when the coach is on you and stuff, and you're kind of worrying about oh God, I'm gonna mess up, and that's the problem I'm having at the moment. I'm just thinking too much out there, and I got to get back to simplifying.
You were a big part of bringing Josh Batch into Cardiff this year, and nobody really knew who he was. Big find and a big recruitment. Comment on even Josh's season and how well he's played and adjusted into first year.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Batchy since we were like 14, maybe 15 when I played for England with him. And he played for GB20. He was over in America as well, in Green Bay. And came to Belarus with the 20s, and I thought he looked good out there. And I thought, God, he's huge. He's a good guy, and the biggest thing I think for British players, and he wants to be a hockey player, and he's willing to put all the work in, and I think that's the biggest thing. He's a great guy. He fits in well with the team, and he's done unbelievably so far. I mean, he's got chucked in there with the deep end. Obviously with Mark Smith being out with an injury, and just other little niggles along the line. I think he's handled it unbelievably, and I think he's going to be around for a long time.
What's the aspiration then for Sam Smith in his second year pro? Looking forward, you talk about being a part of the England setup.
Yeah.
And in the GB under 20s, I mean, is it an aspiration maybe get on the radar? Paul Thompson looking at the senior GB team, and
yeah.
And do you think that that's something that's within your reach maybe this season? Or?
Yeah, cool. I mean, I made the squad last year, and obviously I want to better that this year and actually be on the plane. So I mean, right now I've just got to get back to playing the way Sam Smith can play. I mean, and that starts with Cardiff. So I mean, first take it baby steps and get playing first, and then we'll see how it goes. I mean, I feel like I have the ability to be on that team, and I feel like I should be on that team. So
well, good luck with that, Sammy. Now, as we look forward to this weekend, is it nice when you've got only one game coming up at the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you're playing well, I mean, obviously you just want to keep going and going and going. So sometimes, yeah, you'd love to be playing on that second day, but I mean, getting this extra day off, here, we've got a tough schedule coming up in December and January. So I mean, looking at the bigger picture, I mean, you got to get your rest, and you got to use it for what it is and recuperate, and then be ready to go train hard on a weekend.
And spend some time with your partner. It must be serious because obviously you went in a relationship on Facebook.
Yeah,
so so that means everything. I mean, that's as good as being married, really.
Yeah,
at
that's
stage,
that's
isn't
like
it?
asking the question, isn't it?
Yeah,
As soon as you put that up there to the
near
great
enough.
wide world.
Dundee this Saturday. Do you think, because it was only yesterday, wasn't it, that they let their player coach go?
Yeah.
Do you think that will benefit you this weekend?
Well, I mean, G was talking about it this morning. Sometimes it can completely deflate a team, and sometimes it can give a team we got to get going here.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean Dundee, they're a funny team. They've been our thorn in our. They ended our winning streak last year, and we've always got to be prepared to play. I think that's been our biggest problem this year so far. I mean, I think we've been great against the top 4 teams. We've come out, we've been ready, but then I think once we go below ourselves in the standings, I think guys are maybe taking the foot off the pedal slightly, and I think that's one of the biggest things you can't do in this league, because on any given night anyone can win, and we've seen that this year. As well, we want to build on last week's game against Belfast, and have another real strong physical performance in our rink and get the win.
I think the key for Cardiff always has been, if you want to be a top place team, you got to be consistent. And I think that's the key to being a professional. If you want to be a good pro, you've got to be consistent, and that's how you get measured. If you can perform night in, night out, it's each player is responsible for that, and making sure that they are ready to bring that, because ultimately every single output from the individual contributes to the total team performance. So we need that as a club. We need that especially here at home, and Saturday's an important game for us.
This weekend, one game, Dundee in the Bay. Best of luck to you, and best of luck with getting back to where you want to be. All the luck in the world to the Devils as well.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, Cam.